I'm Vicky Della Gioia with The Way of Joy. I've been feeling this level of, I guess I'd call it intensity in my body, mind, spirit lately. It's kind of like overwhelm and anxiety, and I haven't been able to figure out what it's about. I do have a lot of stressors in my life. Have a lot of choices to make and a lot of things on my plate. Still, it felt like the feeling of intensity was higher than what I have to cope with. So it was with some relief that I realized that this time of year, back in 1990, I had a life or death situation where I was hit by a car and almost killed. I remember that when the guy hit me, he went through a stop sign at about 30 miles an hour, and my body flew up in the air. And it seemed like time stood still, like there was no time. I remember thinking that my consciousness went to the size of the head of a pin, and it was located in my lower belly, my lower dantian, because I remember being surprised that somehow I thought it should be in my head. Anyway, I remember looking around on the inside of my body like a silhouette and thinking, I really am just a seed inside of a hull. I could choose to stay inside of this body, this hull, or I could leave. Well, obviously, I decided to stay. When I opened my eyes, the pavement was coming up really fast, so I tucked and went into an Aikido roll, then stood up and began to do some Qigong. The guy leaped out of his car and said, "What are you doing? You're supposed to lie down! Lie down!" So I lay down, and the next thing I knew, I was being taken by an ambulance to the hospital. And doctors were standing around my bed, marveling that I was alive, not maimed, terribly maimed by the double impact of the car and then the pavement. And I walked out about an hour later, pretty much okay, although I was a little twisted, and that did take a while to unwind. Anyway, I've been thinking about how at that time that I was hit, I was also at a time where I was needing to make choices. There was a lot going on in my life, and that accident was like getting a kick in the butt to stop and refocus and repivot. So I think I'm going to try to do that now without having that dramatic a reminder to come back to my center. This correlates to a concept in the Way of Joy I call circles open into spirals, which I'll talk about next week. But do you ever experience that there's a sense of something happening or feeling in your body that you don't know what it is, and it's coming forth, and then it informs you about something you need to know now?